Alright. Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to Hellscape Gaming. Fun fact, this is my third take trying to record this. I keep having technical issues. But anyways, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to playing sorcery. I know I've been gone for a while. There's reasons for that. If you're a long-time viewer of the channel, this is likely not what you were expecting me to upload next. But I've been messing around in this game, and I found something cool that I'd like to share with everybody. Specifically, one person wanted to see this, but I figured I'd put it on the channel to show as many people as possible. So, in order to do this, you're going to need a couple of things. One, you need to open this book. And you do this if you're on a quest, which I am. You do this by hitting the face button that isn't like A or B or whatever the fuck the buttons are. The one that brings up the Oculus menu normally, that button, but on the other controller. The button used to pause in most games. In this game, it brings up this little book. It's got options in it. Doesn't actually pause the game at all. There is no in-game way to pause the game. The only way you can effectively pause the game is by hitting the Oculus button, which is kind of dumb. But anyways, you open this book. You got a couple options here in the cheat section, which is under Sandbox. What you need on for this to work is infinite mana. You absolutely need this. I turn off fall damage when I mess around with this just because unless you have good reaction time, there's a good chance you're going to fall from very big heights, which if you don't have fall detection turned off will kill you. Anyways, that out of the way, I also have, I have a couple of mods installed right now, but only one of them is relevant to this. It is a mod on the Nexus page for Blade and Sorcery Nomad. It's not very hard to find. It's in popular last 30 days. You'll know what I'm talking about if you use Nexus. It is, I believe the title of the mod is Thrusters. The mod is advertised so that the hover feature, like, watch, if I turn on gravity, I jump off of this cliff and then I hold the gravity buttons, I'll kind of float. This hover feature is what it's for, which I just kind of showed off the rest of what I'm going to show you too by doing that, but whatever. Normally, without the mod, even with both hands for the hover, you do still like fall, just slowly. With this, what it does, what it advertises that if you use both hands, you'll go up, but you don't. But what it does do is it keeps you at the same level. It keeps you vertically stable. And so what I've discovered through the combined use of that mod and the built-in features of the gravity spell, here I'll jump back down. What you do, okay? Take gravity in both hands, point them down, right? Launch yourself. What you can do is while you're still in the air, you can do it again. Again. And there is no limit to how high up you can go with this. In most maps, at least. A few select maps, like the home map, with the house, has a ceiling. But others, such as this one, this is Canyon, no ceiling. You can just keep going up forever. And the other part of this, and this is where the mod comes in, is if you use the hover, you can stabilize yourself up here in the air. And if you use the analog stick that is normally for walking, you can move around. Right? And then if you kind of point your hands around in the different directions, you will move in the opposite direction that you point your hand in. So between the use of both the analog stick that you normally use for walking and pointing your hands around, you can kind of like Iron Man it. Obviously, this isn't technically flying, more of a very controlled fall, but it's the closest that you're gonna get in this game currently. And obviously this is very useful for getting to cool little places that you can't normally. Like, for example, up in here. But you never knew you could stand inside this thing. Or these little buildings up here. You can come stand on top of them. There's even a little like chicken coop thing over here, which you can see from down there, but you can actually physically interact with it. You can climb it. And part of what gave me the inspiration for this, discovering this, messing around with it, is I saw a video from another guy, who unfortunately I cannot remember the name of. But the title of his video is that Blade and Sorcery is more than just a sword fighting game, and he's right. It is actually also one of, if not the best VR climbing game out there right now, because of how well the climbing system in this game works. And so in his video, he was exploring these maps outside of the region you're technically supposed to be in by climbing everything. And by doing this, what I've shown you in this video, just kind of flying around, you can do the same thing a lot faster and a lot easier. So by using this, you can get out to areas that you were absolutely never meant to be able to reach, but are modeled enough to interact with anyways. Like, I can stand on this. The area where you're supposed to be in for this map is way over there. Like, the spawn point is right by that staircase over there. And yeah, I got a mod on that increases the range of my telekinesis, so something highlighted over there with my telekinesis, but that's a completely separate mod, which I'm honestly going to get rid of because it just breaks the game. But anyways, I digress. That's really all I wanted to show you guys for this video. Is just a bit of a tutorial on how to use this. And as you mess around with it, you'll kind of get better at knowing exactly what to do to get around like the fastest and the flashiest. And then you can actually, there's like combat uses for this as well. Because what you can do is, here I'll spawn some enemies. I also figured out more combat uses for the gravity. Right, if I go in here and I go mercenaries, you know, first of all, can you imagine how terrifying this would be? Seeing a dude just like fly around and basically like hunt for you. It's terrifying. Here he is. So first of all, if you find yourself in a highly dangerous combat encounter where you're surrounded and you're not really sure what to do, first of all, very quick escape, and you're likely to kill everyone around you in the process. Next one. Now, everybody noticed with the update, the U11, gravity really seems to be kind of nerfed. You used to be able to, with one hand, do a push, and all that happens is they get knocked back, right? You know, it sucks now. It doesn't. Watch. First of all, one really easy fix, just use both hands. There he goes. Or, if you don't want to absolutely launch them all the way across the map every time, and you'd rather it feel more like a Star Wars Force push, what you can do is you kind of like use some like almost martial arts type technique. Like think of like Avatar, the airbending. What you do is you hit them. Oop. Oh, well, okay. I accidentally showed off another thing. If they're in the middle of a swing, their guard isn't up, so they'll just fly with one. Which brings me to my next thing. I'll make sure they're actually in the guard for this one. Stun them with the first one, then hit them. And if you do it with one hand after you stun them like that, it's much more reasonable, like how far they fly and everything, and it feels more like a Star Wars thing, versus just absolutely launching them and then they do the weird glitch spaghetti thing, and it just, you know, it just makes it feel like a ridiculous, almost modded thing, you know, like when you mod Skyrim too much and it just gets ridiculous. Whereas this feels more like an intended feature of stun, go. I mean, obviously, yeah, you're still launching them pretty far. It's very overpowered. But the magic is kind of meant to be a bit overpowered as a way to, like, you know, even the playing field if you're going against a bunch of them. And then, because you're not launching them as far, with the one hand, you can grab them. And obviously, like I said, I've got mods on that I'm trying to get rid of because they just break the game. But if I didn't have that mod on that makes the telekinesis wacky, you'd still be able to do that. You'd still be able to hit them with one, hit them with the other, and then grab either them or their weapon from in the air. So there's more uses for the gravity in combat, or there's this, just slamming them down into the ground when they're already on the ground, which in turn launches you up so that it creates another opportunity to escape a difficult situation. You know, as you can see, lots of uses. One of the uses I really like for this newfound way to use it is if I... Oh, wrong button. Whoops. If I leave here, right, I return to the home. Sorry, these loading screens take a while, and they take even longer than normal because of how many mods I have on. Alright, difficulties, length, both on 2 stars right now, just so, in case you guys didn't catch that. Watch how quickly I can get through this dungeon by using the gravity spell in this new, more advanced way. After the really long loading screen. I hope my mic audio is actually working. I'd be really mad if I have to do this all again. But nothing... Technology has been very much against me today, so I wouldn't be surprised. Alright. First of all... Alright, one way to end it really quickly. Did you see this rope? Not everybody catches that. And not everybody catches where it's going. So first of all, let me check. I got my things still turned on. Yep. First of all, there's this stuff down here that you can actually get to now, even without using something like this. Unfortunately, no enemies ever spawn down here. But, you know. And here's our first victim. Fly down. Boom, boom. They're gone. Come over. He's gone. This room's empty. Yeah, he's a good one to show it off. Watch this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yep, that's one issue that you might run into. Well... Whoops. This isn't exactly what I was intending for. I don't think there's a way to... Hey, look! Random basket asset for some reason. Well, I appear to have broken the game a little bit. If you've made it this far, thank you for being patient with me. Got a little too carried away with it. Wow, they're really just teasing me with how much better even this mod is on the PC version. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's a little fucky. But, you know, everything counts. Oh. Missed one. As you can see, it's a little game breaking. That's part of the... And if you do the one-handed versions, it's not as game-breaking. These bigger, taller rooms is usually safe to do the two-handed launch, but in these shorter rooms, not recommended, or else you'll have the problem that I did. Okay, yeah, that can't be aimed right to do, so we'll go around. I mean, I'm sure it could be if I was more patient. I'm not. So here we are. Don't mind that different enemy type, that's one of my other mods. Here we have arrived to the big room, where they will likely call for reinforcements. Luckily for us, it's not really gonna matter if they call reinforcements or not, because we can handle it. Here we go. Let's see how much of a chance they stand. Remember, you definitely need infinite mana turned on for this to be working this effectively. Or else every 5 seconds you'd be falling out of the air. Because the hover uses a lot of mana. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, I crashed the game. But that really only goes to show how overpowered it is, because yeah, okay. Was not expecting that, and to be honest, I'm not sure how to stop recording now. It says I still am. Okay. I'm gonna go back into the game. And then oh, come on, headset, stop freaking out for 5 seconds. Okay.